What fact is ignored generously?
Experience is not equal to competence. Prevention is more affordable than treatment. In better words, wear a condom. Kids cost a fortune. That we all have confirmation bias. This annoys me so much because I am a scientist, and so many scientists will act on their biases thinking they're being completely rational. And have trouble mixing subjective opinions with facts, especially when people are involved. Edit, people are focusing on the scientific results angle. While this is definitely a part of it, I will also highlight the extensive issues in how science is done relating to how minorities are treated in STEM, and how many argue these are not due to biases by scientists as if they're not capable of having them. Just because it's legally allowed doesn't mean you're not a douchebag for doing it. Humans overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what we can achieve in a year. That just because someone tells you something is a fact doesn't mean that it is. Make sure to do your research. Being at a job for a long time does not mean someone is good at their job. I'll never forget my first Japanese boss. At a Japanese company, where this behavior was higher than I've experienced elsewhere, she was extremely curt and snobby my first week, questioned my ability to do work. I simply hadn't used Excel to splice data the ways required for the job. By the second week that smirk was wiped off real quick. This same lady that was overconfident and mean about everything had no idea what Control-C or V was, had no idea how to use keyboard shortcuts, but 20 years of experience working with 1,000-line contract Excel files, mixing big data, etc. Lady was spending 5 to 10 clicks on mouse for one-button operations, wasting countless hours daily for years. I mean pathetically inefficient. By month 2 I was automating ridiculously repetitive reports and data splicing, macros, etc. Made myself essential very easily and provided workflow improvements the whole team could use. But I'm not tooting my own horn, the point is it was incredibly basic processes improvements that nobody bothered to do. Not genius ideas. How dare you correct me, he said with dismay. I'm skilled and experienced, seasoned I say. I've worked here for ages, he said with a smile. Which meant he'd been doing it wrong for a while. My former boss had been in his job for 12 years. That dude was checked the fuck out and somehow kept getting promoted just in time to make him stick around. Plus, he was too unmotivated to leave and just got complacent. He was a terrible boss, but when it really clicked for me was when I sat down for my yearly review, where I had been anticipating a promotion, and he said, to be honest with you, I just didn't do this, I thought it was a waste of time. I went to his boss to alert him of the fact that my boss was not managing me effectively, and his response was, sounds like you should talk to him about that, not me. Then it suddenly became clear that all these people who had so much experience and time in their roles were really just using it as a shield or armor to not do a single thing. So yeah, time in a role means nothing. You are not immune to propaganda. Most people seem to think that free press equals no propaganda or no biased views, although free press is 1,000 times better than state-controlled fundamentally biased propagator media, it is still flawed. The number of people who die after a war to consequences of war, hunger, disease, etc. are not counted in the statistics. I wish I could upvote this 1,000,000 times. I'm getting really sick and tired of people who argue 2 points, where one is arguing from evidence-based facts, the other is arguing from a YouTube conspiracy video, and the second tries to take the high road with, you have your opinion, I have mine. No, you fucking window licker, person A has facts, you have idiocy. Human memory is extremely unreliable. We forget important details. We fabricate memories and convince ourselves that they're true. What we do remember is distorted to conform to our biases. I have terrible memory. I have friends I've known since childhood who will bring up things they all remember and it's just blank for me. My husband bring up something from when we were dating and I'll have no idea what he's talking about. I've found the majority of my memories revolve around photographs. And because of that, my memories often feel like they're third person. Memories are extremely unreliable, it's scary. Just because some people are naturally talented doesn't mean you shouldn't work hard. The importance of getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. Admitting to a mistake is not a sign of weakness. Bending over backwards to cover it up and pretending like it never happened is. In my adult life, the most valuable lesson I've learned has been to admit mistakes and try to learn from them. Bosses treat you so different when you come to the admitting what you did and telling them how you'll fix it. It's something I definitely had to adapt to. I grew up in a very tight-knit religious community where you were punished even if you admitted to doing something wrong. Thus it became a standard to just lie all the time. Covering up mistakes genuinely worked better. Grew up, got into the workplace, and after a few of those moments found out that it really doesn't work that way. Yes, lying about it and getting caught is worse, but owning the mistake and learning from it makes you look better to your boss. Now that I'm in management, I strive to make sure all my people know that. I try to reward them for fixing their mistakes. We've had to showcase it very publicly when people complain that so-and-so made X and Y mistake, how come they're not in trouble? Because they owned it, fixed it, and learned from it. You get unlimited do-overs with me so long as you're actually doing all three, especially the last one. Older doesn't always mean wiser. Wisdom is obtained from what you do with your time, it's not about how much time you've had. Giving birth to a kid doesn't make you an expert on raising them. Nor do they owe you for being born.